We're going to make a couple playoff brackets for the 2023 NFL playoffs for Super Bowl 57. I'm making a couple brackets. I have a little playoff bracket challenge with some of my friends, and there is a max of 2 brackets. So I'm going to make 2 brackets here today. It is Friday the 13th, spooky, about 8 p.m. as of this recording. You don't understand football? Well, Twitchy, if you don't understand football in the chat, that's okay, because I'm about to give you a full-on lesson, okay? The first bracket I am going to make with my heart. If you can't see, my heart bleeds purple and gold, okay? Tua is listed as doubtful, so I don't think he's going to play. Raheem Mostert is also out, and the Bills, I think, are just a better team, so we're going to go with the Buffalo Bills. Cincinnati Bengals and Baltimore Ravens. I heard Lamar Jackson is not going to be playing. I would have taken the Bengals anyways, so we're taking the Bengals. Jaguars Chargers is actually a tough one. All right, so Mike Williams is ruled out is what I'm seeing. So that's already tough. Man, I wonder who's the favorite in this game. I actually don't know. So from what I'm seeing, it looks like the Chargers are slight favorites. Man, I feel like they were getting kind of hot, but they just lost Mike Williams, and that was their problem all year, is they were dealing with injuries. Losing Mike Williams is very big. They have Keenan Allen, but are they going to be able to like move the ball down the field? They already weren't, the most dynamic offense before losing Mike Williams. They just had a weird year. I feel like they haven't quite met expectations. I'm going to go with Jacksonville at home. I'm just going to go with that, but then they're going to lose the next week to the Chiefs. That's where their luck runs out. Bills versus Bengals. This is actually a tough one. So out of the AFC, I know it sounds kind of basic, but I think the Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs are really in like a tier of their own. It's going to be one of these 3 teams in the Super Bowl for the AFC. The Bills will be at home, so that's big. But I mean, I love the way Joe Burrow is playing. I think it'll be a close game either way. I just pulled up these like FanDuel Sportsbook odds. So the Chiefs are the favorites. Bills are second. Then it's Eagles, 49ers out of the NFC. And then the Bengals. And I see the Cowboys at 6? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? I don't see the Vikings. I don't see the Vikings on here. Brock Purdy, Super Bowl MVP. I could see that happening more than the Cowboys making the Super Bowl. I invested pretty heavily in the Cowboys making it last year, and they really weren't even close. Like, I'm in this same exact bracket challenge. I used one of them to pick the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, and that did not work out for me. But according to those odds, the Bills are the second at plus 400, and the Bengals are plus 750. Oof. I'm going to pick the Bills just because they're at home, and just because I feel like they've been on the precipice for a while now. I'm going to pick Bills, and this is yet another tough matchup. I know everyone kind of wants to say the Bills are the next big thing. It's been that way for, it feels like, a couple of years now. We had that crazy game last year that went to overtime, I believe, where it was just back and forth, back and forth. That was in Kansas City. The Chiefs did win. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, though. The Bills want to be the Chiefs, but right now the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Even after losing Tyreek Hill, Mahomes is playing just as well as ever. And yeah, I think we're going to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'll probably pick the Chiefs for both brackets, but Bills or Bengals would not surprise me for the AFC. Now on to the NFC. We got the 49ers against the Seahawks. I love the Seattle Seahawks. I love Geno Smith, putting together a Pro Bowl year after he was pretty much a bust his whole career. But the 49ers are too good. They're on their 3rd quarterback, Brock Purdy, after losing Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. But let's be honest, Jimmy G is a nice, solid veteran quarterback. Trey Lance had a lot of potential, but we never really saw him put it out there, and then he got injured. It's possible that Brock Purdy is just as good for this team as those other 2 options. It's not like Jimmy Garoppolo was like this, elite tier quarterback. And Mr. Irrelevant has been playing amazing since taking over for an injured Jimmy Garoppolo. And in this offense, he doesn't have to do a lot. So if he can just keep putting it together, I think he can at least get out of that first round. Vikings and Giants. I'm going to this game on Sunday. and I'm rooting for my Vikings. This isn't even a biased take. I know I said, you know, some of these brackets I'm gonna be a little biased with the Vikings pick, but I genuinely think they will win that game. This is a game where I have a tough time because I think the Cowboys, even though I just roasted them a little bit ago, I think they are built to make a run, especially if their defense can get turnovers, and their offense can put drives together, convert in the end zone, get Zeke in there, all that. But if Dak plays well. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home, oh, man. I would rather have the Buccaneers win because I like Tom Brady. I think it'd be cool to see him, have success, even though it's been a rough year for the Bucs. But I just can't count Tom Brady out in the playoffs. I'm going to go with Tom Brady here. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers. I think this bracket, for the NFC at least, I'm going to use a little bit more of my heart, let's say. I do think the Eagles will beat the Buccaneers, though, in that round. 49ers, Vikings. This is a matchup I would dread if it did happen. For this bracket, I am going to pick the Vikings. Just because this, like I said, this first bracket, I'm gonna stick to my purple and gold roots. I gotta have at least one bracket with the Vikings. We're going with the Vikings Chiefs Super Bowl, and we are going with the Minnesota Vikings Super Bowl champions for the first time in franchise history. So this is bracket number 1 of my 2 brackets I'm gonna make. For my second bracket, it'll be very similar. I'll probably just change some things in the NFC. But looking back, this was a tough call. Chargers, Jaguars, easy Bengals, easy Bills over Dolphins, easy Chiefs over Jags. This is a tough one, Bills and Bengals. Chiefs and Bills is tough, but I think the Chiefs are just the best team in the AFC. In the NFC, I don't know who I'm going to pick for the second bracket. We'll see, but 49ers over Seahawks was easy. Vikings over Giants, I think we'll beat them. Obviously, the Vikings have had a lot of big losses this year, but they're 11-0 in one-score games. So if they can keep all their games close, they could make a run. And they're not the best team on paper, but they have something special about them. We've had special teams in the past that when the playoffs come, they don't show up, or the other team literally has a bounty on our quarterback. But anyways, maybe this is our year. So I'm gonna have one bracket with them making and winning the Super Bowl. We're gonna download that. All right, and we're gonna make one more bracket. For this second bracket I'm making, I'm gonna go Bills over Dolphins again, Bengals over Ravens again. I'm gonna stick with Jacksonville. I think they're building a nice thing there, but I think the Chiefs will beat them. And then let's see here. I'm gonna go Bills again, and I'm gonna go Chiefs again. So AFC, that was all the same, right? As the first bracket. NFC, 49ers over Seahawks again, Vikings over Giants again, regardless of my bias. Now, this one I might change. Buccaneers and Cowboys. I'm going to go with... So the first bracket, I picked the Vikings, I picked the Bucks. This one, I'm going to go with the Cowboys, just so it's not completely identical. But the Cowboys already did beat the Eagles, but the Eagles were without Jalen Hurts. The Eagles have been great all year. Jalen Hurts is going to, he's coming back. Should be healthy and good to go. I'm going to go with the Eagles, but it wouldn't shock me if the Cowboys play well, they can beat any team. Like, I know it's fun to hate on the Cowboys, but they have a lot of talent on that team. If they had Amari Cooper, that team would be stacked right now. I don't know why they got rid of him. I really don't. But if I were to be honest as an unbiased fan, while I do think the Vikings very well can beat any team, just with their ability to win close games, we have seen them play good teams and get blown out. So I still do bleed purple and gold, and I will still fully believe in the Vikings in any game they play, and I do actually believe they can beat any team. But against the 49ers on paper, the 49ers are playing great on offense and defense. And I just have to pick them. I just think it's a safer pick, just because this is I have to look at it from a betting perspective, a gambling perspective. It's just smarter to take the 49ers in this case, but I don't want that to come true. And then I'm going to surprise some people here. I am going to go with the 49ers over the Eagles. I know that might sound crazy, but I just love the way the 49ers are playing. And I think they're one of the hottest teams in the league right now. And we have the Chiefs and 49ers, which is a Super Bowl rematch. So they played each other in 2020 in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs won 31-20. Ooh, who do we go with? Who do we go with? You know what's crazy is that if the 49ers do make it this far, I mean, Brock Purdy has already played well enough where it's like, who is the starter next year? They have Trey Lance. I think Jimmy G is going to be gone. I think he's a free agent. But Trey Lance was like, what? He was the third overall pick or something like that. If Purdy makes it even to the Super Bowl, will they give Trey Lance the job back? But what if the 49ers win the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? Is it going to come down to that? Is that the only way that Brock Purdy can for sure keep his job? Is if he wins the Super Bowl? It's possible. I really want to give it to the 49ers. I really do. And I'm going to. 49ers. They are the champions in this bracket. So in the AFC, it was pretty much all the same. I think it was all identical for both brackets. Bengals and Bills would not shock me if they make it. Any other team would shock me. Out of the NFC, it's pretty much all the same. I did pick the Cowboys over the Bucs in the first round. But then I still picked the Eagles to win the divisional round. And I did take the 49ers over the Vikings in the divisional round in this second bracket we made. And I have them winning it all, baby. I really do. I think they're a great team. So these are my two Super Bowl 57 brackets. I got my Minnesota Vikings winning over the Chiefs. And I got my 49ers winning. Not my 49ers. Wait, should I pick the 49ers, bro? It feels weird to not have the Chiefs winning one. It really does. Oh, I feel like the Chiefs, bro. Listen, I'm doing the outro for the video right now. And even now I'm looking at it, I'm like, are the Chiefs really going to lose to either of those teams? It's tough. I don't know. But these are the two brackets I made for my little pool for the Super Bowl 57. Minnesota Vikings or San Francisco 49ers. I got a team out of the NFC winning, but if the Chiefs win and I don't win this bracket because of that, I'm going to be so mad. But I feel like the Chiefs are a very popular pick. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with my Vikings getting their first Super Bowl win or the 49ers getting their revenge from when they played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl a few years ago. So, Skol Vikings. This one is obviously the correct one. I also have to pick a tiebreaker, total Super Bowl points in the Super Bowl, in case, the points are the same. So how the bracket works is it's 1 point for the wild card, 2 for the divisional, 3 for the championship round, and then 5 points for the Super Bowl. So let's say there's two teams that have, the most points and they're tied. The tiebreaker will come down to who is the closest, whose prediction for total Super Bowl points was the closest. So Vikings Chiefs, I think it'll either be a high scoring game or the Chiefs will blow out the Vikings. I do not think the Vikings are going to blow out the Chiefs. I don't think our defense can stop their offense, really. Even if we get a big lead, we'll give up garbage time points. The Chiefs can definitely blow out the Vikings. It's definitely they can blow out anybody. But assuming it's a competitive game and the Vikings can keep it close, they're going to be putting up points, keeping up with the Chiefs. I'm thinking like both teams at 30 plus points. I'm going to say this. The Vikings are going to miss an extra point, but have 4 touchdowns. So that's 27. They'll have 2 field goals, 30, 33 points for the Vikings. And the Kansas City Chiefs will have 4 touchdowns for 28 points, making all their extra points, and 1 field goal. 33-31 Minnesota Vikings. Oh no, my pen. That's a good sign, right? I predict the Vikings winning the Super Bowl, and my pen attacks me. On the other side, we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the 49ers, with the 49ers winning. I'm going to say the 49ers will win 30 points to 24. So Chiefs Vikings will be a total of 64. Chiefs 49ers will be a total of 54. All right. And those are your Super Bowl picks, baby. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys later. Peace.